Hello and welcome. Our top focus today is on Uganda. Anti-government rallies have erupted in the East African nation, and authorities have launched a crackdown on the demonstrators. Several young protesters have been detained in the capital Kampala. Now, these protests were planned by young Ugandans who are frustrated over the rampant corruption in the country. Ahead of the protests, there was a heavy security deployment in the capital of Kampala. All roads to Parliament were blocked. But despite the heavy military and police deployment, protesters went ahead with the anti-corruption march. Several small rallies broke out in the street of Uganda. Now, the planning of these protests resembles very much the ongoing anti-government protests in neighbouring Kenya. In Kenya, Gen Z-led rallies have put intense pressure on the ruling government led by President William Ruto. Even though Ruto has made several concessions, the youth stays firm in their demands. Though their initial demand was to scrap the proposed tax hikes, they now seek to end corruption, poor governance in Kenya, with many demanding Ruto to resign. Young Ugandans have been inspired by these protests. They organised today's rally online using the hashtag #StopCorruption. Just how the rallies were organised by the Gen Z in Kenya using social media and hashtags. However, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni had warned the demonstrators that they will be playing with fire if they go ahead. Just like his Kenyan counterpart, he has blamed the violence and unrest on foreign elements. Museveni has maintained his iron-fisted rule over Uganda for almost 4 decades. He has long been accused of failing to prosecute corrupt senior officials who are politically loyal or related to him. However, he has repeatedly denied these allegations. Museveni has also been accused of frequently launching a crackdown on opposition. Just ahead of today's planned protests, the opposition headquarters were seized and 3 lawmakers with the opposition group were detained by police. Opposition has extended its support for today's rally. So first Kenya and now Uganda. Gen Z-led rallies have transcended boundaries. Now, what kind of change and impact will these protests bring? Now, for more on this, we have with us Solomon Sirwanja. Solomon is the Executive Director of the African Institute for Investigative Journalism. He joins us live from Kampala. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the protests have been sparked by allegations of widespread corruption and human rights abuses. What specific incidents or issues have fueled public discontent?
Well, it's only fair to say that Uganda loses about 2.6 billion shillings to corruption every single year. And I mean, $2.6 billion, it's quite a lot of money. Now, one of the things that really has outraged the protesters and the Ugandans is the high taxes that the Uganda Revenue Authority gets from people. But when this money is collected, it's all swindled. It's all lost in corruption scandals. But at the helm of this is the demand for the resignation of the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, and that's the Honorable Anita Among. Young people are outraged that the Honorable Anita Among, who is the Speaker, is involved in the loss of billions of shillings to her personal gain. For example, about 500 million shillings was used to procure her own home generator as well as electric fencing. So Ugandans are really mad about the corruption in Uganda.
Right. Museveni has warned that the organisers of the march to Parliament are playing with fire. What actions has his government taken to prevent or even suppress the demonstrations?
So firstly, there was heavy deployment all across the streets of Kampala with armored vehicles and armed police officers and the military surveilling all across the streets. A number of activists have been arrested and young people have been arrested. I was at the site of the arrest where they arrested about 15 young people who came holding placards shouting and chanting out that Anita Mong, the Speaker of Parliament, must resign. They were bundled up into a police vehicle and they've been now taken to different police stations. As of now, we have heard that about 45 young people have been arrested throughout the entire day and they're being taken to court. Some more will be taken to court tomorrow. There is a number of public litigants who are at the different police stations demanding for their unconditional release. And we know that the president has come out to say that whoever will come out protesting will be crushed. But I must say that the young people have been demanding to be heard. They feel like the president and his government are not hearing them out. There are so many young people who have graduated from different universities who don't have access to jobs. There are so many young people who feel bothered that the little money that they're getting from their businesses is collected as revenue, as taxes. But when these taxes are collected, the people in the high echelons of government are actually using them for beneficial purposes. And they're outraged. They're really, really angry, and they think that something needs to be done.
Right. And Solomon, Bobby Wine, a former music star turned politician, is a prominent figure in the protests. How has he addressed the situation, and what impact has he had on the youth-led, specifically, unrest?
All right. The young people who have been organizing these demonstrations were clear. They don't want any political parties involved. It is a non-partisan demonstration. It is a non-religious demonstration. It's just a young people coming together to push back against bad governance and corruption. But indeed, Bobby Wine commands a big respect among the young electorates in Uganda. We've seen him lead massive protests against bad governance in this country. But what the president and the military officials have done, they bundled all the top leaders of the National Unity Platform Party. Yesterday, they surrounded their offices, arrested some of the top mobilizers, and they have spent, the whole day guarding the premises of the National Unity Platform Party. And that's a nip in the bud. For sure, Bobby Wine hasn't made it to the streets. Of course, he had planned to go on the streets and demonstrate. Unfortunately, he has been, kept indoors. The police are saying that they're using the preventive arrest law, which of course was outlawed by the Constitutional Court. And we will certainly be monitoring to see. But he has come out with his entire cabinet to say that he supports the demonstrations, he supports the protest by the young people, and that they should, in their own right, demand for better services. They should demand for a corrupt-free Uganda.
Right. Thank you very much for being with us, Solomon, on Firstpost Africa, and for your valued insights on all the latest coming out of Uganda.
Thanks for having me.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished. Obviously today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alyson coming to you from
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C.